Let me ask you something. How much do you really value your time? When you look back, are there moments in your life you regret wasting? Hours or even years spent on things that didn't matter? The truth is, every single moment of our life is precious. We each get only 24 hours a day, no more and no less. Time keeps moving forward and never comes back. And every choice we make about how to use that time shapes the quality of our lives. If you spend most of your day distracted by other people's business, if you spend your energy worrying about problems that are beyond your control, then you are missing the chance to grow yourself. You're throwing away the most priceless resource you own, your time. Marcus Aurelius, the great Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." His message is simple. You cannot control the world, but you can control yourself. And if you focus on what is within your power, your thoughts, your actions, your discipline, you will discover true strength. So instead of wasting your life on things outside your control, why not invest that energy into building a stronger, wiser, more disciplined version of yourself? In today's video, I want to share with you 6 principles from Marcus Aurelius on daily discipline, practical lessons that will help you stop wasting time, sharpen your focus, and live with greater purpose. Before we dive in, I'd love for you to take part in this with me. Leave a comment below with the phrase, "I choose daily discipline." By doing this, you're not only committing to yourself, you're also joining a community of people striving to live with more clarity, strength, and self-control. So let's begin. Principle number 1, the danger of comparison. Every day, we are bombarded with images of wealth, beauty, and success. Social media feeds are filled with highlight reels, carefully curated to spark envy and comparison. But Marcus Aurelius would warn us that the danger of comparison is profound. It steals our focus, drains our energy, and distracts us from what really matters. He once wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." In other words, don't look outward, trying to measure yourself against the shifting standards of others. Look inward. Focus on becoming the best version of yourself, not someone else's imitation. The time we spend comparing ourselves to others is time we lose in pursuing our own growth. And when we compare, we don't just waste time. We also surrender control of our happiness. Instead of directing our energy into progress, we feed insecurity, envy, and resentment. Think about it. Every minute you spend scrolling through someone else's life is a minute you could have spent learning a new skill, strengthening your health, or deepening your relationships. Comparison is the thief of time, and once it robs you, you don't get those moments back. The Stoics taught that the path to freedom begins with self-knowledge. Epictetus, another great Stoic, put it plainly, "Know first who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly." If you don't know your own strengths and weaknesses, how can you possibly grow? Self-awareness is the foundation of discipline. Once you know yourself, the next step is to set clear, realistic goals. The journey of discipline isn't about doing everything at once. It's about consistent progress. Step by step, small goals lead to momentum, and momentum leads to transformation. Think of Oprah Winfrey's story. Early in her career, she faced rejection, criticism, and even humiliation. But instead of comparing herself to other television hosts, she chose to focus on her unique gifts. She invested in her communication skills, her authenticity, and her ability to connect deeply with people. Over time, those small steps created one of the most successful shows in television history. Oprah didn't win by competing with others. She won by being fully herself. This is what Marcus Aurelius would call real discipline. Not obsessing over others, but steadily shaping yourself. Every time you achieve a small victory, you prove to yourself that progress is possible. You strengthen your confidence. You no longer need validation from others, because your sense of worth comes from within. But if you give in to comparison, you risk more than wasted time. You risk your self-esteem. Constantly measuring yourself against others can leave you feeling inadequate, as though you're never enough. The antidote is to shift your focus inward, to pour your energy into becoming who you are meant to be. So let me ask you, how much of your day is stolen by comparison? How many hours do you waste wishing your life looked like someone else's? Marcus Aurelius teaches us that the true measure of a life is not how we stack up against others, but how well we develop our own character. Comparison is a trap. Discipline is the way out. Stop letting comparison steal your time. Stop measuring your worth by someone else's standards. Remember, your greatest project is not surpassing others, it's building yourself. Principle number 2, progress over perfection. Here's another trap we all fall into: perfectionism. The constant pressure to be flawless, to perform without error, to never make mistakes. But Marcus Aurelius, in all his wisdom, reminds us that life is not about perfection, it's about progress. He believed that every day, we are works in progress, constantly shaping ourselves through our choices. Chasing perfection is an illusion, a burden that keeps us frozen in fear of failure. Discipline, on the other hand, is about showing up every day and moving forward, even if only a little. The Stoics understood that perfection is beyond our control, but effort is not. Progress is always within reach, because progress depends on consistent action, not flawless results. The first step toward progress is controlling negativity. Negativity from the outside world, colleagues who criticize, circumstances that frustrate us, obstacles that stand in the way, and negativity from within, our own self-doubt and inner criticism. Marcus Aurelius advised, when faced with negativity, don't waste energy reacting. Stay calm, stay silent, and preserve your self-respect. That restraint is not weakness, it's power. But the greater challenge lies within. How many times have you told yourself, I'm not good enough, I can't do this, I'll never succeed? These are invisible chains holding you back. To move forward, you must break them. Replace them with new thoughts. I can learn. I can improve. I can take one step today. That's discipline, not waiting for perfect conditions, but working with what you have. And progress requires letting go of the past. Too often we carry our old wounds, mistakes, and regrets like heavy luggage. Marcus Aurelius believed that forgiveness is essential, not to excuse wrongs, but to free yourself from anger. Only then can you move forward. One of the best examples of progress through discipline is J.K. Rowling. Before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon, Rowling faced poverty, rejection from publishers, and countless setbacks. But instead of giving in to perfectionism, she disciplined herself to keep writing, day after day, page after page. Her perseverance, combined with gratitude even in hardship, carried her through. This is the essence of Stoic discipline: patience, perseverance, and daily effort. Success is not the result of perfection. It is the accumulation of steady progress. So remember, don't chase perfection. Chase progress. Celebrate every small step forward. And trust that discipline, applied consistently, will shape a life far more meaningful than perfection ever could. Principle number 3, rejecting distractions. Imagine for a moment that time is like gold, rare, irreplaceable, and impossible to recover once spent. How would you treat it then? Marcus Aurelius, with his timeless wisdom, might remind us, every moment you waste on trivial distractions is a moment you can never reclaim. In our modern world, distractions are everywhere. Social media notifications, endless emails, constant news updates, and the lure of entertainment. Each one is a silent thief of time. And if you're not careful, these distractions will consume your days, your years, and eventually your life. Marcus Aurelius understood that living a disciplined, purposeful life requires guarding your time with vigilance. By protecting your time, you're not just managing your day. You're declaring your self-worth. You're telling yourself and others, my time matters, and I will not waste it on what doesn't serve me. So, how do we reject distractions? The first step is simple but difficult. Identify them. Ask yourself, what steals your focus most often? Is it the endless scroll of social media? Is it meaningless conversations? Is it saying yes to too many things? Once you name the distraction, you gain the power to cut it off. One practical strategy is to set boundaries. For example, instead of checking your phone every 5 minutes, allocate specific times to look at messages or social media. Treat it like an appointment, not a constant habit. This discipline creates space for deep, focused work. But discipline is not about cramming every second with activity. It's about choosing quality over quantity. If you're working on something meaningful, give it your full attention. Don't let your mind wander to distractions. The Stoics taught that it is not the result that matters most, but the effort, the presence of mind you bring to the task. Think of time as a canvas. Every action you take paints a stroke. If you fill it with distractions, the canvas becomes cluttered, messy, wasted. But if you fill it with purposeful effort, the canvas reveals a masterpiece. Building habits around time management is another powerful tool. Just like training your muscles, you must train your attention. Start small, 15 minutes a day devoted to focused, uninterrupted work. Over time, this habit grows stronger, and your ability to resist distraction becomes natural. But it's not just about habits, it's also about people. Who you surround yourself with shapes how you spend your time. If you spend your days with people who drain your energy, gossip, or distract you from your purpose, you'll find discipline slipping away. Marcus Aurelius and the Stoics emphasized the importance of choosing your companions wisely. Surround yourself with those who uplift you, who respect your time, who challenge you to grow. Sometimes this means saying no. Saying no to the colleague who constantly complains. Saying no to the friend who pulls you into drama. Saying no to commitments that don't align with your goals. Each no is not rejection, it's protection. It's creating space for what truly matters. Negativity is another form of distraction, whether it comes from others or from within your own thoughts. Negativity clouds your vision. It keeps you from focusing on your goals. Discipline requires recognizing negativity, setting boundaries, and refusing to give it control over your mind. Of course, these choices aren't easy. It's not easy to set boundaries with friends or walk away from unproductive relationships. But Marcus Aurelius would remind us, your life is too short, too precious, to be wasted. Protecting your time is not selfish. It's the highest form of self-respect. So, think about it. What distractions are stealing your time? What habits or relationships do you need to set boundaries with? Every time you cut away a distraction, you reclaim a piece of your life. Discipline begins when you stop letting distractions dictate your days and start making conscious choices that align with your deepest values. Principle number 4, the value of focusing on yourself. What would your life look like if you decided to focus completely on yourself? Not in a selfish way, but in a disciplined, purposeful way. Marcus Aurelius believed that the greatest project of your life is yourself. Your energy, your time, your efforts should be directed toward becoming the person you're meant to be. Focusing on yourself starts with setting clear goals. Think of it like training a muscle. Each day you put in effort. Each repetition builds strength. Over time, you become stronger, more capable, and more disciplined. For example, if your goal is to learn a new skill, public speaking, writing, coding, consistent effort, even in small doses, compounds into mastery. But focusing on yourself also means eliminating what is unnecessary. Imagine trying to build a house while leaving piles of debris in the way. The clutter would prevent you from laying a solid foundation. In life, the clutter is toxic influences, wasted time, and meaningless obligations. You cannot grow until you clear the space. Take Jane, for example, a professional with a demanding job who also dreamed of advancing her career. She realized her evenings were being consumed by social obligations and mindless browsing. By saying no to what didn't serve her, she created space to study for a new certification. That certification led to a promotion. Her discipline transformed her life, all because she focused on herself. Another pillar of self-focus is maintaining a curious, learning mindset. Marcus Aurelius himself never stopped learning. He read, reflected, and wrote in his journal daily. For us, this means reading books, listening to podcasts, seeking new ideas. The world belongs to the curious. The disciplined person never stops learning. But curiosity alone is not enough. You also need discipline to sustain your effort. Discipline is the steady hand that keeps you moving forward even when motivation fades. Motivation is fleeting. Discipline endures. Patience is also essential. Growth doesn't happen overnight. Think of a gardener planting a tree. For months, the gardener sees no visible growth, but beneath the soil, roots are spreading, preparing for the day the tree will bloom. Your personal growth is the same. Discipline means trusting the process, being patient, and continuing even when results aren't immediate. And most importantly, you must learn to value the journey more than the destination. The finish line matters, but the lessons, habits, and strength you gain along the way are far more valuable. A marathon runner's victory is not just at the finish line. It's in every disciplined training session leading up to it. Protecting your time is the key to focusing on yourself. Time is your most limited currency. Spend it with intention. If health is your priority, schedule your workouts. If family matters most, dedicate time for them without distraction. Align your daily choices with your deepest values. To do this, you must master the art of saying no. Every yes you give to something meaningless is a no to your own growth. Every boundary you set is a commitment to yourself. Discipline requires courage to protect your time and focus. Marcus Aurelius teaches us that life is short, and our highest duty is to live it with purpose. Focusing on yourself is not selfish. It's respect for your potential. It's choosing to live intentionally rather than drifting aimlessly. So, ask yourself, how can you better protect your time? Where do you need to set stronger boundaries? How can you redirect your energy toward your growth? The value of focusing on yourself is priceless. Discipline turns that focus into reality. 5. Resilience through self-focus. On the path of self-discipline, there's a vital truth we must understand. Resilience doesn't come from chasing perfection. It comes from committing to steady, incremental progress. Marcus Aurelius and the Stoics believed that strength is built not in moments of glory, but in the quiet, consistent effort of daily practice. Too often, people collapse under the pressure of perfectionism. They believe they must achieve flawless results, and when reality doesn't meet those impossible standards, they give up. But discipline isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. It's about moving forward, even when it feels slow, even when you stumble. Consider the example of training for a marathon. If you demand perfection from yourself, running the fastest time, breaking records, you'll quickly burn out or become discouraged. But if you celebrate small wins, running 1 extra mile, shaving seconds off your pace, showing up even when tired, you begin to build resilience. Each small victory strengthens not just your body, but your spirit. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily that mistakes and setbacks were inevitable. He wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Failure is not a dead end, it's an opportunity. Discipline transforms failure into fuel. Each obstacle becomes a stepping stone to growth. When you adopt this mindset, resilience becomes natural. You stop fearing failure because you see it as a teacher. You stop waiting for perfect conditions and instead use what you have, where you are. Resilience also means adaptability. Life rarely goes according to plan. You may set a goal, prepare carefully, and still face unexpected obstacles. A disciplined person doesn't crumble when things change. They adjust. Like water flowing around a rock, they find another path forward. Imagine a professional working on a major project. Suddenly, the company changes direction, and months of planning seem wasted. Instead of giving up, the disciplined person reassesses, adapts, and finds creative ways to move ahead. In the end, they achieve results that surpass the original plan. This is resilience in action, staying committed to progress, not perfection. Feedback is another key part of resilience. Many people see feedback as criticism, as a personal attack, but discipline reframes feedback as guidance. It becomes a compass for growth. A writer who listens to a mentor's suggestions isn't weaker for accepting help. They're stronger because they have the humility to learn and improve. Discipline teaches you to accept imperfection as part of growth. If you fear mistakes, you'll never take action. But if you embrace mistakes, you unlock creativity and courage. Marcus Aurelius himself wrote extensively in his journal, not because he was perfect, but because he needed reminders. His discipline was not about flawless wisdom, but about daily effort to live according to his values. And perhaps the greatest element of resilience is patience. Growth takes time. You can't plant seeds today and expect fruit tomorrow. A gardener doesn't despair when nothing sprouts overnight. He trusts the process. In the same way, daily discipline builds invisible roots before visible results appear. This is why Marcus Aurelius emphasized presence. He knew that fulfillment doesn't come only from reaching the end. It comes from living each step with intention. A disciplined life isn't one of perfection, but of steady progress, resilience, and alignment with values. So ask yourself, do you crumble when faced with failure? Or do you learn from it? Do you give up when plans change? Or do you adapt? Do you wait for perfection? Or do you commit to progress? Resilience through self-focus is the key to lasting discipline. By choosing progress over perfection, you train yourself to endure, to adapt, and to thrive. Principle number 6, final motivational insights. Imagine standing in a room filled with noise. People are talking loudly about success, fame, wealth, and recognition. Each person is trying to impress, trying to prove their worth. But in the corner, one person sits quietly. He isn't trying to impress anyone. Instead, he asks himself, is what I'm doing truly meaningful to me? Or am I simply chasing the approval of others? This image captures the essence of Marcus Aurelius' philosophy. He was not just an emperor who commanded armies and ruled an empire. He was a man who understood the power of discipline, patience, and focus on what truly matters. When you stop wasting time on things beyond your control, when you stop living for the applause of others, you begin to live for yourself. You begin to live with purpose. Every day, you make hundreds of choices, some small, some large. Each one is a brick in the foundation of your future. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Our life is what our thoughts make it." Your mindset shapes your reality, and discipline is the tool that ensures your thoughts, choices, and actions align with your values. To live with discipline is to live with purpose. It means committing to your dreams, not for recognition, but because they matter to you. Discipline is a quiet declaration that your goals are worth your time, your energy, your life. Think of a marathon runner who doesn't race to beat others, but to conquer himself. With every step, he doesn't care about the person beside him. He only focuses on his own breath, his own rhythm, his own discipline. In the end, his victory is not external applause, but internal strength. Life is full of challenges, judgment from others, failure, temptations to give up. But Marcus Aurelius taught that each obstacle is a lesson, each difficulty an opportunity to grow. The mountain may be steep, but each step upward builds strength. The scratches on your hands are proof of your progress. And when you reach the summit, the reward is not just the view, it's the person you became on the way up. This is the heart of Stoic discipline: to focus on your path, to respect your journey, and to trust the process. The true reward is not beating others, but becoming the best version of yourself. Your life is shaped by your priorities. If you spend your time chasing the approval of others, you'll always feel empty. But if you focus on your values, your health, your relationships, your growth, you'll find fulfillment, even without applause. Think of the gardener who spends years tending to his tree. He doesn't care about the gossip of others. He waters, prunes, and patiently cares for it. Eventually, the tree blooms, and people admire its beauty. But for the gardener, the true reward was never the admiration. It was the quiet, daily discipline of nurturing life. Your journey is the same. There will be days when you feel tired, when you doubt yourself, when you wonder if the effort is worth it. But remember, every step matters. Every disciplined choice is proof of your inner strength. Patience and discipline go hand in hand. Don't waste time chasing what you can't control. Trust that each small, disciplined choice today is shaping a better tomorrow. Through the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, we've explored 6 principles of daily discipline: resisting comparison, embracing progress, rejecting distractions, focusing on yourself, building resilience, and living with purpose. Together, these lessons form a powerful blueprint for living not just productively, but meaningfully. So now I ask you, where do you waste the most time in your day? And what will you do to change that? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your reflections. If this video spoke to you, share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear how you practice discipline in your own life. Your feedback helps me grow this channel and bring you even better content. Don't forget to like, share this with a friend who might need some encouragement, and subscribe so you won't miss future lessons. Another video is waiting on your screen. Click it and keep walking this path of discipline, wisdom, and inner strength with Marcus Aurelius as your guide. See you in the next video.